So you want to grow an amazing garden, but you haven't tried worm composting? Well, then you came to the right place. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. My wife and I are new gardeners, and we're here to take you guys on a journey on how to grow a garden from a small one into a full thriving one. We'll be showing all of our mistakes and our successes, so each video you can learn something new and be inspired to grow your own food. So last year was the first year my wife and I started gardening together. We used European night crawlers to vermicompost, also known as worm composting, and this was our setup. But over the winter, we got kind of busy, so we couldn't take care of them and the worms all died. Luckily, we got some castings left over. Here are the eggs, and so now we're starting a new bin, and we want to take you guys on a journey with us because this is one of the best ways to grow your garden. A regular bin like this from Walmart is perfect. You know, there's fancy worm bins out there, but I suggest to just get a cheap one like this if you're just starting. Also, worms don't have any teeth, so they need a form of grit to help them digest. We're using eggshells, but you can use fine sand, dry topsoil, or coffee grounds. Now for their food, they need a 4:1 ratio of brown to green matter. Brown matter is dry stuff like this cardboard or old leaves, and for green matter, you can use grains, non-citrusy fruit, or veggie scraps like these. We're also giving them some of the compost that we got from last year to provide a good source of bacteria for the worms to eat. And of course, the star of the show are red wigglers we got from Uncle Jim. We ordered 1,000 worms that we got yesterday. Last night we transferred them in a bin, and some of them escaped because it wasn't the best kind of bin, so they died. But luckily, we have leftover worms here. Hopefully it'll be enough. Now take your cute little future worm bin and drill a ton of holes in it. I think I put like 18 on the bottom, and make sure it's on the lowest part because that's where all the extra water is going to go and it's going to drip from. And I also put around 10 high up on each side and 50 on the lid because they need really good airflow. And you know, if you got any suggestions on what worked well for you, please just let us know in the comments so we could all learn together. And now we're adding some cardboard sheets to prevent stuff from falling out. You don't have to cut them like this, but we just did it to be fancy, you know. And so now we're adding our cardboard shreddings all nice to make it comfy for the worms. And hopefully you still got those Amazon boxes from online shopping during quarantine because this is the perfect way to make use of them. And then we spread out some of the worm castings from last year and mix it up a bit. And now we're adding some grit to help the worms digest. Remember, we're using ground eggshells, but you could use other stuff that I said earlier. So here I dug down and added the veggie scraps on one side, mixed it with some worm castings and ground eggshells, sprayed it up, then I covered it completely so no rodents or anything else can get inside and it won't smell. And since worms love moisture, I sprayed it up real good one more time before adding them on top. Oh yeah, and also the reason why I put the food on one side is because when they finish it, I'll add more food to the other side, so each side gets eaten up by our cute little worms. And after giving our worms some sprays, I put some cardboard on top and that's it. Our worm bin is done. So it's been 5 days since we set up our vermicompost bin. Like I said earlier in the video, some worms died, so we called up Uncle Jim, told them what happened, and they hooked us up with 500 red wigglers. So shout out to them for their customer service. Do you guys use Uncle Jim's worms? Let us know in the comments if you do. So to give a little update, the next day after we set up this bin, we saw our worms are crawling up the sides trying to explore their new place. Of course, we want them to go down where the party's at, and saw that Uncle Jim recommends to shine a light into the bin for a few days to keep them at the bottom of your worm bin. So since then, we've been shining our lamp into it. We check our little worm friends every hour or so, and the light has done a great job of keeping them down to be with all their wormy friends and the food ever since. So now we're just adding 500 of these brand new red wigglers and keep a lamp shining on them so they can get to know their new home and new wormy friends. We'll keep an eye out to check the moisture of the bin, how well the worms are doing, and if they need to be fed more. So let us know what you think. Have you tried worm composting? How do you do it? Anything else you'd like to see? Leave it in the comments. Stay tuned for the next update, and thanks for watching.